What's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? So I kind of wanted to do a video on a really serious topic. I feel like I guess it's talked about a lot, but I feel like it's kind of brushed under the rug a lot. It has to do with, as you can see in the title, why does every woman know another woman that's been assaulted or I don't want to. I want to keep it clean for YouTube, I guess, but the M word, molestation, or RAP. Uh, so I was on my Facebook the other day, and I shared a meme where it was like a SpongeBob meme, but it was really deep. It was basically SpongeBob had his arm around a fish, and the fish's face was really uncomfortable. And it was like when a guy is trying to hit on you or whatever, but you don't want to say anything to hurt his feelings because you don't want to get physically hurt, and something along the lines of that. And it kind of made me think, like, what? Like, I mean, I can imagine a girl saying something to me, and then I just, like, that's crazy. But I also have to realize, which I am realizing, people don't function the way I do or think the way I do. When I shared that meme, a lot of girls on my Facebook liked it or reacted to it, like with the button. And I was like, Jesus, it's like 10, 15 people, all females, reacting to this. No comments yet, but reacting to it. And I was like, is this a thing that's actually like, do females really feel this way? I don't want to sound ignorant or whatever. One of my first memories is of my mom telling me, if you ever get separated from me at a store and you're getting kidnapped or a guy comes up to you, she told me what to do. Like, scream and kick, tell everyone, scream as much as you can. This is not my father. This is not my father, and that's one of my first memories, honestly. My mom has told me countless stories about things that have happened to her growing up. So I was always aware of this kind of stuff. But to think that women just don't feel safe anywhere, doing anything, at any time, to me, I'm not saying anyone's lying, but to me, it was just hard to grasp because, I mean, I live in my own little world. I don't, if I try to, and I don't even try to, I never catcall people, or I never try to, I barely ever, like, try to get a stranger's number, but it made me think, like, have I ever accidentally, unintentionally made a girl feel uncomfortable in a certain way? So I made a status saying, hey, if you've ever had an experience where a guy made you feel uncomfortable, can you tell me, in the comments? And at least 7 people, and then I got some messages too, left comments of stories and examples of, I mean, some people had multiple, in 2015 and 2017 and 2020, of all these instances of times where they've either been assaulted or drugged or all types of stuff. And it just made my stomach turn because, I mean, I don't, that's not a reality of mine. I mean, I'm a guy. I mean, the most I can compare it to is, I mean, I've been robbed at gunpoint. I mean, I've been robbed at knife point. I don't live in the best area, so I can relate it to that. I'm always on point when I walk through the streets. I never have headphones in my ears when I walk around my city because it's just, I got caught slipping one time like that, and it was bad. So that's the most I can compare it to. And it made me think of this joke that Dave Chappelle said one time, where he had to transport, well, not had to, but a drug dealer, and he's a kid, a drug dealer asked him to transport drugs, or no, I'm sorry, money, a whole lot of money, like $10,000, $20,000 in a bag from one side of town to the other. And he was thinking to himself while he's on this train or on this bus, he's like, if any one of these people knew what I have in my bag right now, what, he started feeling vulnerable. He was like, if they knew what I had right now, I wonder what would happen to me. I'd probably get attacked, jumped, whatever. And then the punchline or the joke about it was, that's how women must feel on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure some of you have seen that. I think he's one of the greatest comedians because he does things like that. And I remember seeing that, and it really made me think. I was like, wow, like that's such a great analogy. Because there's been times where I've had $5,000 on me, and I'm just like, I've had similar thoughts. So, the point of this video is if you've been abused sexually, or you've been molested, or you've been baped. I'm trying to, use certain words. I don't want to get the video taken down or whatever, but you should speak on it. You should tell your parent, your loved one, someone you trust, a best friend. You got to tell somebody, because we've had the Me Too movement. That was a great movement for women. We've had a lot of these, but I feel like there's a lot of women that when something bad happens to them, they don't speak on it because they're afraid. First of all, I've heard they feel dirty. After something like that happens to them, they just feel dirty. They don't want to speak on it. They feel guilty, or as if it was their fault or something. Just all these different things that pop in their head, or they just feel ashamed or embarrassed and they don't want other people to know that this incident has happened to them. And I can understand all that, but you're also letting this person that did that getting away with other people possibly having that thing happen to them as well. I applaud every woman that's been through some type of horrible experience who's spoken on it afterwards. And the ones that didn't, I'm not shaming you either. I get it. It's something that, everyone has to personally deal with in their own way. But so I wanted to I looked up some stats on things. I don't want to seem like a robot just reading off these things off, but I want to say these so that people can get an understanding, a better understanding. If they didn't know that this thing was so common, then now you know. So 1 out of 6 women who have been a victim of attempted rape, 1 out of 6 women have been a victim of attempted rape or, I said it. Attempted RAPE or completed RAPE. So that's 1 out of 6. That means if you're in a room with 36 women, 6 of them have had something happen to them, right? Like, can you imagine that? I work with probably 36 women on a daily basis. And that means 6 of them have had something happen to them. That bugs me out. And to flip it, 1 out of 33 men have been a victim of this type of thing. Now, I'm sure men, pride and all that, and I'm sure it's more women too, but, they probably don't want to admit it. There's probably more men that have than just 1 out of 33, but so, now as an adolescent, 1 out of 5 girls have been molested, and 1 out of 20 boys have been molested. You guys know what I'm saying when I say that. I hope you do. Children are most vulnerable from the ages from 7 to 13. So all the parents out there, the parents' job is never done, but 7 through 13, I would even say 7 through 18, man. Just keep a watchful. I would say from 1 to 18, but just keep a watchful eye on your kids, man. My next point would be children who don't have both parents in the house. There's no percentage for this, but have a much higher risk of being assaulted sexually. I'm assuming because there aren't 2 watchful eyes looking after them. And that could be either a divorce situation, or they just didn't know their other parent. I was raised by my mom. I didn't have my dad in my life. I met him at 19, and that never happened to me. To be honest with you, it's not something I really talk about, but one time when I was in a public bathroom, I must have been 7, 8, maybe 9. My mom was like, I was too old to go into the women's bathroom. I remember women would give her crap about bringing me to the women's bathroom, so she let me go on my own. I was probably like, I'm old enough, Mom, I could do it. And as I was walking out, this homeless guy groped my ass as I was walking out. And it didn't traumatize me, at least not in ways that I can really see, but it was such a weird feeling. And I didn't even tell my mom after it happened. So she's probably going to see this, and that's going to be a whole thing. But that happened to me once. And it was like at a train station bathroom, probably Grand Central or Penn Station, something like that. And yeah. Also, there was a study in 1986, and there were similar results in studies they did in 2000, 2002, and 2005, where 63% of women who have been molested by a family member also reported a RAPE or an attempted RAPE after the age of 14. So if you were, that's kind of easy to, also, if you have experienced RAPE as a adolescent, you are 13.7 times more likely to experience it again in the first year of college. There was more stats, like I think it was from the ages of 14 to 17, 28% of people have experienced some type of sexual assault. So that's just some stats that I pulled up, just to let you know how common this thing is. I was not aware how common it was. I knew it was a thing. Like I said, my mom would tell me my whole life and all this, but I mean, as a guy, like, all right, I get it. As a guy, you see an attractive girl and woman, whatever, and you just, oh man, she got a nice body, she got a beautiful face, I get it. Look, but don't look and make it known and all this. And if you ever approach a woman and she seems a little hesitant, understand she's probably that 1 out of 6 women that were a victim of RIPE, or were the 28% of, as a child or a teenager, that was 1 out of 5, that was, all these, it's, to me, it's just, when you're as a man. So like, listen, when I did this, I didn't think I was the right one to do this. I feel like this is more of a woman type of topic, but somebody left a comment saying that you're probably really good. You're probably the perfect person to do a video like this. Not because I'm just so great or whatever, but because I'm a guy. And, men only listen to men. I honestly think men are only going to listen to whoever the hell they want to listen to. And honestly, the men that are doing these type of things, probably you're never going to see this video. But, so this really isn't for them. This is for the guys who have enough heart, enough empathy, sympathy to put themselves in someone else's shoes and care how someone else feels, but might just be a little ignorant to how they're perceived, or to what the other side of the coin is for a woman who is vulnerable or who feels vulnerable. So if you're a dude, a guy, whatever, even a teenager, a male teenager, just try to understand that most women, not most, a minority, but many women, I mean, come on, 1 out of 6 is crazy, have been through something of some type of sexual nature. If a girl doesn't feel comfortable, say you like this girl, you guys have a few dates, whatever, and just seems like she's a little sexually not there as much as you are, understand she's probably been through something. I mean, from my own personal experience, there was a girl when I was 16, And I'm not going to say any names or anything, but when I was 16, this girl I knew, I was just talking to her. I think I met her at like a skating rink, and I was getting to know her. I think she was like a year younger than me. And she told me, I was on the phone with her one night, and she was like, oh shit, oh fuck. I'm like, what? Oh damn, I cursed. She was like, I was like, what? What's going on? She was like, this lady that is best friends with my mom, who's been abusing me my whole life since a child, is here right now. She just came into the door. I could hear her voice. And I was like, oh snap. So I'm like, does your mom know? She was like, no, my mom doesn't know. And it turns out this lady has been their best friend with her mom since they were a kid. And the lady was a New York City police officer. A New York City police officer. I was a kid at 16, so, you know, I'm new to the world, but I knew that was wrong. And I convinced her over time to tell her mom what happened, what's happening. Like, I think it was still happening at that time, or at least it happened far enough into her, teenage years. And she told her mom, and that person was removed out of her life. And that was like, I guess a pat on the back, a good deed David did at a young age. But every woman, so many women I have been with have told me stories about it. So it's not like, I don't want to seem so ignorant, like, oh, I didn't know this is happening. It's not like that. It's just the depth of it, that just women just don't feel comfortable or safe anywhere, anytime, because of prior experiences that they've been through. I'm sure there's plenty of women that haven't gone through anything. But, at the very least, many, 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 many women have had guys pull up along them in their cars, creep up on them. Hey, can I give you a ride or whatever? Now, listen, there's a long time where I didn't have a car, and then I got a car. And I would see somebody, walking or waiting for the bus, and in my heart, I would want to be like, hey, I want to offer this person a ride. No weird intentions behind it. It's just I used to walk everywhere, and, like, I know what it's like. And, like, I would want to offer this person a ride, and I never did, because I also knew, I was like, I don't want to look like a creep, but, like, I feel bad. Like, so, more instances. Someone left a comment on my status that I put. They were... two people were drugged, and, like, one person got out of it on time, like, was able to see that something was wrong. Her spidey senses were tingling, and right before the drug kicked in, she had the drink or the smoothie, whatever it was, right before it kicked in, she was able to get out of there and get a ride and get out of there, and fell asleep in the car and was unconscious the rest of the day. Another girl I know was, this guy tried to holler at her. It was a friend of a friend. She wasn't really with it. And then the next time she saw the dude, she was a little inebriated, and he grabbed her area and sniffed her finger. Like, another guy who was 70 years old and this girl looked at him like a father figure, was friends with his dad. And one time, and she would even call him, like, dad or whatever. And I'm sure in his sick mind, that probably turned him on. And she was a young child, too. Wasn't even, and he, like, pulled her panties to the side and did things. And I don't want to get too graphic, but it's just countless instances. I mean, being cornered in a store, and, like, give me your number, give me your number, give me your number, give me your number. Like, damn, like, if a girl says, I don't want to give you your number, like, don't do it. Like, back off. Don't pursue it. Like, just back off, bro. Like, it's not that serious. There's other women out there that I'm sure will be attracted to you. Like, just go somewhere else with it. I don't know. I don't want to make this video crazy long, but just as a guy, and like I said, this video isn't for the sickos that are gonna not care about anything I say in this video. This is for the guys that actually have a heart, that actually care. Just watch, always think of the other person's point of view, and realize that if even to this day, when I I used to pop out on my mom as a joke as a kid to like scare her, and her reaction would always be such a startling reaction, because I'm not gonna put my mom's business out there. My mom is 1 out of the 6, 1 out of the 5 have had things happen to her, and I still like to joke with her sometimes, but like the way she would get so startled and look in her eyes, I had to realize like this isn't really a joke to her. This is something that really petrifies her because she's been through something like this. Just so for the guys, just try to be aware of another person, another girl, of the girls, of what she's been through. Ask her. I mean, obviously not while you're trying to get her number or pursue her or whatever, but once you get to know her or whatever, ask her, like if she's ever been through something, and that can give you an idea, a frame of, she might even, and that honestly, I wouldn't recommend ask. I don't know. Maybe ask, but just keep in mind, at least treat it like she might have been, even if she hasn't. Treat it like she might have been through something like that. So, I'm sure I could do more on this. There's more examples, there's so many lists like I said, like 10 people commented on my status with all these different stories and examples and of stories of coworkers and all this other stuff. Like, just be mindful. Understand, it's not always personal against you. That girl might have gone through something. And once you go through something traumatic, there's no taking it back. It sticks with you. I've been through traumatic things, and they always will stick with me. Alright, so I'm going to end it on that note. For everyone who watches my videos for the interviews, I've been slacking. I was on vacation for 2 weeks, and then now I'm probably going to be moving out of my apartment and downsizing. So I'm trying to save some money and move to Florida, to be honest. I'm trying to get out of New York. But I'm trying to be with my family and all that. So I have one interview I still have not yet to drop. I'm going to drop it very soon. I just kind of kept it in the burner, in the back end, so I could just release something when it was a drought. Right now it's kind of been a drought, but I do have 4 interviews lined up. One is with a doctor who treats people with narcissistic personality disorder. So you get to see the other side. I've interviewed 3 narcissists. You get to see the other side of the fence of what it's like to be a therapist who treats people with NPD. Type of tactics, things she uses, It's not set in stone yet. I most likely will be interviewing Emmy Thomas, who is the author of Confessions of a Sociopath. That I'm very excited for, because I'm actually a fan of her book. Fan of her too. I've watched all her YouTube videos too. But that's going to be a lot of fun, for me at least, But it's not set in stone yet. I don't want to get no one's hopes up, but that's going to be really dope for me. And hopefully for all the viewers, I hope they like that one. I am going to hopefully be interviewing someone who has gone through multiple miscarriages. She runs a podcast about her experience with it. I'm going to be getting all her... It's not a mental condition, but, it's something that I feel like light needs to be shed on. Millions of women can relate to this. And also, a friend of mine who has postpartum depression and who has had issues with addiction. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of different interviews soon. I've just kind of been I've been kind of slacking. My bad, guys. I know I'd started this YouTube channel and I was one week, and I've been slacking. I'm going to get right back on it. I'm just going through some, personal things in life. But I appreciate everyone who watches my content and who subscribed. And, yeah, man, I guess the 2 points of this would be women, anybody really, but women, if you've gone through something, hopefully this video can inspire you. You're not alone. There's no reason to feel dirty, guilty, embarrassed. I mean, there's reasons, well, not reasons to feel embarrassed, but I understand that emotion, but tell somebody. Get that person locked up. Get him out of here. Get him all the way out of here. All right? Get him all the way out of here before he does something to somebody else. And if you're a dude and you have somewhat of a heart in you, be mindful, okay? There's nothing wrong with pursuing a girl you think is attractive. But when she's not feeling you, there's no reason to insult her for that. There's no reason to whatever. Maybe your game isn't on point. Maybe your game isn't good enough. Maybe if you had the right game, you would have walked up on her and she wouldn't have felt a little taken aback. She wouldn't have felt a little hesitant. She wouldn't have felt like she was in danger if your game was on point and you weren't coming up like a predator. Just be mindful. So for the dudes, be mindful. For the women, please share your experience with at least somebody, anybody. And to the next step, get that person locked up, get him out of here. All right, that's it. I appreciate all y'all. I love all y'all. And like I said, I got more stuff coming.